not in the direction that fans want. But I wanted to put something out there that's a little bit proactive and positive into this space, and that's going to be my top 5 games that have fostered the most goodwill, the games that fans are the most fanatical over, and why that would be. Now, I've played all these games and I can recommend them, and you've probably seen them in a number of top 10s from me and everybody else, and that's the point. I'm ranking this based on the communication that everyone has about these games. I mean, you can just go to some random gaming forum and you would see these games being talked about, just kind of slipped in there like, hey, have you heard of this game? I think you should play it. They love this game and they want other people to love this game because the developers and the game itself loves its players. These are the best games for fans. Keep the hype alive. Let's get into the top 5. Okay, so the first game I'm going to be mentioning is Fortnite, and it's actually number 5 because it's really freaking brand new, but it's also kind of the reason why it's on the list, because so immediately and clearly we can see why it soared over its competitors. Now, this is a genre that is prolific. Right now, it is exploding. It's an emergent genre that a lot of people want to emerge into. I mean, to the point where we have games merging into the genre where previously, like, maybe they were a MOBA or, I don't know, Wave Survival or some sort of survival server game, and they just transition. You know, they make a split in the development and they make a battle royale. And Fortnite was one of those games as well. It had, you know, a co-op-y, Wave Survival-y type of game, and it's like, okay, let's see, you know, PUBG is getting pretty big. You know, H1Z1 was fun. You know, let's try this too. And, well, a lot of games have tried that. A lot of games are coming out, but Fortnite Battle Royale is the biggest because of its goodwill. Because Epic took something which was just a silly, fun idea. It's like, yeah, let's try it too. And then they genuinely are trying. That's something that a lot of companies, it's like a little experiment. It's just a little tiny thing, you know, and they're trying to jump on the bandwagon, which Fortnite was too. But Epic actually tries. With the meta events, oh my God. Remember Kevin, rest in peace? Guys, all this stuff that's happened with the story of Fortnite, like what? What kind of a battle royale that has a progressive meta story? I don't know, it's crazy. The actual monetization is so fair and fun, actually. Like the skins are ridiculously good. All the emotes, everything, and they just keep adding and piling on more and more and more that we ask. All the balance updates, which happen so rapidly, and that's what I'm talking about, is like I've never seen a game evolve so quickly. I mean, even with Epic's other games, that wasn't the case. Fortnite's something special, Epic knows it, and Epic is right there with us, running into the distance, into that broad horizon, whatever Fortnite could be, and it is so freaking exciting. So, in such an emergent genre, the game that is emerging the most quickly, hastily, but with such polish is Fortnite. All right, next up, we have Guild Wars 2. Now, this is an MMO right proper, but I think it's really cool that Guild Wars 2 is kind of comfortable for not just giant guilds. Anybody can play this game, any group can play this game, and there's a lot of different ways to play it. In fact, I consider Guild Wars 2 the truest theme park. I mean, you have all these different rides that you can go on in any order that you want. If you want a PvP, you can jump into structured PvP, and it all equalized, boom, you're basically esport, baby. If you want to jump into, World v World 2 as well, and a couple of different PvP sections, and then there's raiding, and then you have giant world bosses, and you have the open questing, and just the raw exploration, then the seasonal events, jumping puzzles, you even have like a single player campaign if you want to run through that, and there's just a lot of different fun, genuinely interesting rides that Guild Wars 2 has, and it's one of the only MMOs that actually is living and breathing, and it has that atmosphere of adventure, and overall, good game. But what's also awesome, especially with this list, is these games, they evolve, they actually change, and they give us what we want as fans. Now, Guild Wars 2 had some areas it was lacking when it originally launched, so when they expanded, boom, they gave us a little bit more difficulty, they gave us a little bit more verticality, they added in a lot of very interesting, very strange stuff. The expansion's like a whole new game, man, and they made the base free to play. Wow, what goodwill. The monetization overall is very fair for Guild Wars 2. It's a very cheap game, it's a very affordable game that just gives you a lot of content, and then the newest expansion, it mounts and just a whole new roulette of gameplay to play through. It's a lot of fun things, again, just a lot of different rides. They're always expanding on the true theme park, and I think it's a game that just has so much color that, they actually listen to their fans, they're listening to their community, and they're constantly building a space for that community to, communicate in, to play in, to ride the rides, and I genuinely love it. And at the moment, it is my most played MMO, so I think that says something from an MMO reviewer. But number 3, and it might be controversial, but that controversy is why I put it at number 3, and that's RuneScape. Okay, now to clarify, it is 2007-scape. It is old school RuneScape. So there, if you don't know, there's actually multiple forms of RuneScape. There used to be way more actually, counting Darkscape, but that was a thing. Anyways, so RuneScape is a classic MMO. Like the original classic RuneScape, basically was kind of like the original free-to-play of 2007 RuneScape. They just always expanded the game. It's always been the same game, but they've just kind of updated the engine and changed a couple things here and there. But this is where the controversy comes from. RuneScape did this giant shift where they changed huge sweeping mechanics with the combat, the evolution of combat updates. They've kind of changed a lot of the writing style. I mean, they updated the graphics, which are great. So that's known as RuneScape 3 now. But I think it's telling that the RuneScape that evolved, that it was, 2007scape, that RuneScape had to be clarified as 3, and then they had to make a fresh start RuneScape. They had to make an old school RuneScape server and accounts to please the fans. It's a little bit hard, and I'm kind of stuttering here trying to describe this because this is a top list of things that fans like, and RuneScape really dicked us over. And RuneScape actually has a lot of controversy. There's a lot of stuff going on with their weird esport, but they try to do a lot of experimental things, and things they experiment and fans don't like it. And Jagex overall, a lot of their games get shut down. That's all I'm saying. But when it comes to old school RuneScape, they made the choice. Okay, players, you will vote on the updates. That's revolutionary. Players decide what goes in the game. And it seems like more often than not, things don't get in the game, but that's okay. Preserve the beauty that was 2007 RuneScape, the genuine heart and soul, even the classic RuneScape, the fourth wall-breaking quest text, the fun, the comic humor, the charm of from Tutorial Island all the way through to, the Dragon Slayer quest, at least in the free-to-play. A lot of the game, yeah, it can be clunky, it can be awkward, but especially with the mobile release, the 2007scape has just been absolutely true. Now, other games on this list are just ridiculously updated, and they're trying to do way ridiculous things, and normally, yeah, it's on the line of appeasing fans. But this RuneScape is a little bit more kept. And maybe it's not as exciting or explosive as some other titles being so old, but that's also the point. When it comes to classic servers and like this revitalization of nostalgia and keeping the community alive, the original community, the original players, and keeping those original fans happy, RuneScape is undoubtedly the MMO for that. And, I can't wait to see the future of RuneScape 3 as well. Another RuneScape project, sure. But 2007scape, I have full confidence that, slowly but surely, we'll continue to get new, awesome updates that the fans want. All right, number 2, we got Warframe. Now, I'm pretty sure people are going to click on this video and be like, Warframe better be on this list before they even watch it. Yeah, Warframe's on the list, guys, at number 2. So Warframe, actually, I gotta admit, it's got some ups and downs. There's some things that the players don't like, and there's some things that I think that the players don't realize they don't like. Such as crafting timers and limited loadout slots, but, that's just a thing that we have to get over because other than a few things that they do get away with, they get away with it because they add in so much free stuff. They give us so much. I mean, it's insane. Really, Warframe, all it had to be, all it needed to be, was just a grind fest. It could have been just, procedural dungeons, jump in and do wave survival or something. Like, they could have just slapped that down. But they keep doing just a lot of weird experimental stuff, which the fans don't ask for. That is true. So maybe that is kind of a double-edged sword there. But they are always adding on to the game. And maybe they don't update core mechanics and balances fast enough. But frankly, nobody can say that Warframe isn't being updated. They're always giving us new toys. They're always giving us new boxes or new areas to play, new guns to play with. It's a toy box, right? So they're giving us lots of new stuff to do all the time. And generally, the fans do like it. Now, I think it could be better. That's why it's not number 1. But Warframe is just a really fun game that looks great, plays great on most things, everything basically. Freaking going on the Switch, man. I'm expecting a Warframe mobile coming out maybe next year. Who knows? But this is a game that, for free to play, it's just like, whoa, compared to its competitors as well. While Borderlands is a fantastic, looter shooter, and Destiny's like, it's Destiny. Dude, directly comparing with Destiny, it's like, oh my God, Warframe, this is different, this is special, this is new, it plays so fast. What a power fantasy, how ridiculous. What other powers can we play with? What other fantasies can we fantasize about in Warframe? Oh, freaking literal space pirates coming to the game. We got open world sections now, fighting giant kaiju alien bosses. What the fuck, oh man, it's crazy. Warframe is like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. I think it gives us a lot, and fans don't ask for it. And I think it's because fans just you don't know, man. What's gonna happen next with Warframe? We're gonna get skis and a hoverboard. Oh, actually, we're getting hoverboards. Anyways, so Warframe is just a ridiculous game that fans are just along for the ride. And there's some other games that try stuff like that. Guild Wars 2 is to an extent kind of like that. But Warframe just takes it up to an insane notch, and they do go back and they do refine their gameplay. And generally, they are trying to make a really well done game. And while there are some issues with monetization I do have, it's really good. Especially compared to Destiny, you know what I'm saying? Compared to competitors, Warframe is a very different and interesting and strange game that fans are just consistently hungry for, and they're always feeding us, and it feels great. And finally, the number 1 I'm putting here, even though this is actually the game that I've played the least on the list, and that's Path of Exile. So I'm just gonna flat out admit, my experience with Path of Exile is very vanilla. Like, literally, I played the vanilla story, and yeah, I played a little bit of like the first expansion, and that was it. That was my, you know, I won and done it. But you should know that games like Path of Exile, they don't really play like that. Diablo and maybe like something like Monster Hunter, those kind of action RPGs, it's really more about just consistently, you know, replaying, becoming more efficient, trying out different builds and playstyles. And Path of Exile is the game that has the most build diversity and the most complexity and the most insanity with that. It's also got an ever-expanding straight up linear campaign it's pretty good. I mean, you can one and done it. It's great, you know. But if you're a fan and you're really going to play this game, which is not the way I play it, but the way everyone describes it, and you know, this whole genre, which I'm trying to get into. By the way, I will be streaming Path of Exile here pretty soon. But the way they describe it, man, Path of Exile is just, it hyper focuses. So yeah, maybe some games we could talk about. You know, they try lots of different experimental things. They do lots of weird things. But Path of Exile, in a list about games for fans, the way fans play and love Path of Exile just does that. No, we're not gonna get hoverboards, maybe, but like they grind it so hard. Grinding gear games, they just straight up, you know, okay, new expansion, new builds. We're gonna focus on the, you know, lots of build diversity. We're gonna focus on giving you the challenges. We're gonna focus on, you know, giving you interesting leagues and interesting competitive PvE environment. Which Path of Exile was the very first game I ever realized. Whoa! A PvE game could be competitive. Huh? What leagues? What's this? And I know other games have done it and are doing it now. Like, freaking like speedrunning in World of Warcraft is insane. But Path of Exile is a game that is, it's fun to play. You know, it's fun. It's a free to play. Just jump in. The story's poetic, and I can gush about it. But when it comes to the way fans so fervently, you know, try to get people to play it, like on Diablo forums, especially right now, on every other action RPG, and even most MMO sites, man. MMO sites are like, you know, and number 2 for the best MMO is Path of Exile. It's not even an MMO, but fuck it, it's that good. It's genuinely very fair. I think that, and compared to any other action RPG, basically, Path of Exile is like the fairest, and definitely compared to Warframe, the most fair, the best monetization I've seen. Other than like inventory slots, it's just cosmetics, man. And it's just so fully playable and so enjoyable from the casual to the hardcore. And I think even as a casual, you can be a fan of a game. You can play it once. I played Dark Souls once, and that's my favorite game ever. So yeah, you can one and done a game, or you can play it hardcore, maybe the way it's meant to be. I don't know, play the leagues. But Path of Exile is a game that makes fans out of just, you know, passerbys. It's just a game that's supposed to be so niche. It's supposed to be so specific, you know, just like the original Diablo, but it's just fucking good. And they won't stop updating it. They won't stop giving us more Path of Exile, pure Path of Exile gameplay. And so yeah, you know, I mean, if you're a fan of a game that just keeps coming, then I guess you'll never stop being a fan. And so the family just keeps growing and growing. A game that was supposed to be so particular and niche and very inspired by a dark game previously, you wouldn't think its community would be so bright and friendly. And yet it is, because they're fans of a game that loves its fans. But that's enough of that, guys. That's my top 5 games that are favorites of fans. Fans love these games. They just, you know, always doing just updates that are just very accurate, very much a portrayal of what its player base truly wants. And hopefully these companies learn from that, and their future endeavors with that game and other games will also follow that. So, I know a lot of companies maybe could learn some lessons. Well, these are the games to learn lessons from, my friends. Thanks for watching.